So earlier today on the Weighing In podcast with the original MMA ruleset creator and the guy who basically wrote the rules and was the most known UFC ref for a long time, Big John McCarthy said on his podcast that this happened before one of Jon Jones' fights when he was backstage with him, claiming that Jon allegedly performed a sexual act on a male commissioner without his consent. And before I quote exactly what Big John said, I want you guys to think, would he have any reason to lie about this at all? Would Big John risk more than his 2-decade-long reputation and career in the MMA industry just to spew some BS and lie about Jon Jones? I don't think so. He definitely wouldn't do that. So to me, this means that there's like a 99.99% chance that this is true, which is just crazy messed up and just piles onto the lore of Jon Jones being gay. And it comes at a time when Jon's probably getting the most amount of hate he's ever gotten for ducking Tom Aspinall. I mean, go look at his comment section on Instagram, and as you can see, every single comment is about stripping him and fighting Tom and shitting on him. But back to what Big John McCarthy said on his podcast. He said, and I quote, "When I went to Jon's locker room, he says, I've got a question for you. I need somebody." And there's an individual there who has a black belt in BJJ and works for the commission. He said, "Can somebody get on the ground for me?" And he said, "I'll do it. I know how to roll." So he goes down and Jon says, "Put me in guard." And then Jon decides to do a sexual act on him and says, "What if I do this? This isn't illegal, right?" Then the guy who's on the ground, his eyes went as big as they can, they were like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Jon, knock it off." And I helped the person up, and then he said, "I'm just joking, but really, what could you do?" And I said, "I could disqualify you. I could disqualify you for unsportsmanlike conduct." And then Greg Jackson came up to me afterwards and said, "Jon, I'm sorry you did that." Now, I'm not sure what he did. Maybe he grabbed his nutch and crotch area or something, or humped him when he was in guard, but I can't imagine being this commission member who just got sexually assaulted by Jon Jones. Like, he must have been so excited to help out one of the best fighters ever, and he's behind the scenes and put his BJJ black belt to the test, and then Jon is just so unserious and thinks that no rules apply to him and just assaults the dude. I'd have been furious and definitely felt betrayed big time. You know, this is fucked up, dude. This also just pushes the narrative that Jon Jones really is gay, or at least bisexual or something, which is wild, and we know all the lore about that. But if this is what we're hearing that happened behind the scenes, I can't imagine what else has happened and what other horrible shit he's gotten away with. Maybe he actually has something on Dana White and the UFC, and that's why he always get what he wants, and he thinks he can do whatever he wants. It doesn't matter if Jon was joking or not. He's not allowed to just freely sexually assault people, but maybe the rules are different for him. You know, I guess you could say he's got that Dana White privilege. It's starting to seem like Jon Jones is legitimately the Diddy of MMA. I don't think Big John is misinterpreting this. I think Jon was just seeing how far he could push something and let his gay fantasies get the best of him for a bit, and he actually did this. I guess this is just Jon Jones being Jon Jones. We're 2 subs away from my goal of 10 subs, so that would be awesome if you'd subscribe if you want to. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.